Have you ever scribbled? Happened to me.
Illustrations by me.
So when you're a kid, you have a lot of fun with art. They give you those crayons, you just scribble away. You don't care about anything else. Then, as you progress, people put pressure on you to now you have to start drawing solid shapes, do it in one shot, very artistically. Listen, I'm saying you go ahead and keep scribbling. There's nothing wrong with it. So today I'm going to show you how to scribble. There's a lot of different ways to do scribble art, but this is my favorite way. Now, sometimes people say, no, you just start with a pencil and just sketch things out with a pencil, and then you find the mark you want to keep, and you put in the ink, and then you erase all the lines around it. No, don't do that. How about we try this? I'm just going to say this is how I like to do it. I take a gray book, and I get a black pen, and I get a white pen, and I just start scribbling. And I darken the lines that I want to darken, and then I lighten the lines I want to lighten, and I fill in little spaces and little gaps with dark and light. It's like I'm a freaking kid again. I love it. It's fun. You get some energy out, you get some creativeness out, and you have a blast. That's what it's about. I'm going to show you how to do it today. Normally I don't do anything representational. Not on this channel. Not anymore. But today I'm going to do that because a lot of you do that. A lot of you don't do the doodle thing or you don't do the abstract thing. You try and draw something from life or from a photo that is from life or whatever. I'm going to show you how to do that. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, now you're going to have to give this a little bit of time to develop because I'm going to do a little bit of sketching outline. The whole thing really is a sketch. That's what it is. But it's just a scribble. Now, this, I didn't exactly get the idea from the conversation that I did have with people, but it just so happens that a video that just went out today, someone commented it was about the whole warm-up thing, and it was before I recorded this, but I think it fits perfectly in with it. So, Becky and Eugene also has said it. He's basically saying, you know, when you do the sketch part, that's the warm-up. So now I'm turning the sketch part into the final piece. So this sketch is going to be the end result, and you're going to see how it develops and how it works out. And at first, I'm going to go back and forth. You're going to see how anyone can do this because you're going to be able to change the entire outline of the piece as you go. You're going to change all the outlines, you're going to change all the details while you're doing it. So it doesn't matter if you put a line in the wrong spot because you're going to go over it. And if you want to make it darker and more permanent line, you'll do that. And if you want to just ignore that line, you might take a piece of or a mark from the white pen and just go around that a little bit differently. And at first, it looks like, what are you doing? You're not doing the right thing. It doesn't look right. Everything is misproportioned. Everything is out of the ordinary. But it doesn't matter. The whole point of this is to scribble until you feel like you're done. And that's it. That's why I did the representational piece. I know I can feel that people are already saying yes, but I'm not doing the abstract thing. A lot of people don't do it. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of people don't do that. They do more realistic stuff. And they want to know how to apply what I'm saying to the more realistic stuff. So that's what I did here. I did something a little bit more representational. Of course, I picked a raptor. That's just what I did because that's what I wanted to pick. So that's what I did. I picked that, and that's what I'm doing. But you'll see it develop. It's going to look at first like what that doesn't look like, what you think it's going to look like. The belly's too high, and the legs are too long, and the head's misshapen, and nothing's the right outline. Don't worry, we get into that. We just keep going and going until it looks the way that I want it to look, which is like the picture, which you don't see here. That's okay, don't worry about that. But I think it just fits well with what we just talked about in that other video when we were talking about, well, I was talking about, I don't get the warm-up thing, and then people said, no, well, possibly you could do the warm-up this way, or maybe you do the warm-up this way and this helps, or you can do this or do that. Some people warm up by they're getting ready to do something, so for the next few days in the beginning they draw that thing a few days early. a couple times in a row, and then they get ready for drawing the thing when they actually draw it. Some people do the sketch or a thumbnail or something like that, and then I understand all those things. What I'm saying is that I usually don't do them, but I do understand them. And I said in that video, I said from the beginning, it's probably me. I'm the one who doesn't understand, and that's the truth. And even when I did more realistic pieces, I never really did a warm-up exercise, but I did do the sketching thing first. I would do the pencil sketch under, and then make the solid lines with the ink after, or do a little sketch, figure out what I want, transfer that onto the other page, and then paint or whatever with the outline of the sketch that I did. So I understand that part. I can grasp that concept. The whole doing the warm-up thing, doing like a bunch of circles or doing whatever, that is still a little weird for me. I just don't, it's me. I know it's me. I'm not saying it's you. You get what you need out of it. I don't understand it because of me. That's all. So I got to change the subject. I'm not going to have 2 videos talking about the same thing. I've already just done that. But I'm going to change this up a little bit. So this, I just want to bring something up. I think some countries don't do this. So if you're in a different country other than the US, you don't do the tipping thing, or a lot of countries don't do the tipping thing. They pay, the people at the restaurants whatever they're going to get paid, and they don't do the tipping thing. But in the US here, we do the tipping thing. The people at the counter usually make nothing. The waitresses and things, they make below minimum wage. You make almost no money. And so we do the tipping thing here. So here's what I want to say about that. I don't do the tipping thing because of the way that people deserve it, or because they did anything extra above and beyond what they're supposed to do. Like when I go to pick up food, if I place an order and I go pick it up at a pizza place or whatever, I tip them. If I go into a Chinese place, I pick up takeout, I tip them. That's what I do. I don't do it because it's something, they performed this great task or whatever. The reason that I do it is because I think that person, it just makes their day. It's the whole, they're not making a lot of money behind that counter, and I know that. So if I give them like $5 or something, it just makes their day. They didn't expect it. Nobody else is tipping them at the counter, I guess. Some people do, but not a lot of people do. So I just want to point that if you want to make someone's day, and that's your goal for the day, go into a place where people don't normally get tipped and just give them $5 when you sign out, and you're going to charge the card anyway. It's $5. You're going to make someone feel special. It's a wonderful experience, and you get something out of it too. You feel good. You did something nice for someone. You put a smile on their face. Maybe they can go now and, I don't know, maybe they're going to go buy some food for their home that they couldn't have gotten without that $5. So I just want to encourage you, if that's what you're going to do, then this is not, don't ever take this. This is not me bragging about it. I don't think I'm a wonderful person because I do this. I'm saying I think it should be done just in general, just to give people that little smile at the end of the day. It's not a big thing. It's not a massive, I just went and, fed the poor for the last hour and a half with $150 worth of whatever. No, that's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is it's a $5 tip. It's all it is. You go into a place that they normally don't get it. That's it. You go to an ice cream store where you have a bunch of teenagers working behind the counter. They're not making any money. They're just there because it's a job they're going to make. And not that they have any big expenses. You have no idea. Who knows? But they're just there scooping ice cream. You're like, here's $5 for a tip. It's just something nice to do. I'm not saying everyone has to do it. Maybe you can't afford to do it. That's fine too. But if you can, it's just something to put a smile on someone's face. That's all I'm saying. Now, speaking of affording things, I know I go into this a lot. When I go to buy art supplies, I'm one of those people that I like to collect things. So I usually buy the full set of whatever. If it's like at the colored pencils or pastel pencils or whatever, I want the full set. I don't need the full set. It's just this compulsion I have to own all the colors. I'm not even going to use them. I know that. I know I'm not going to use all the colors. I just want to own all the colors. But I just want to say that's not necessary. Let's say you're getting into watercolor for the first time. if you really need to get into watercolor, that's what you want to do. You're good with just getting 3 colors, like a yellow and a blue and a red, and maybe a convenience color like a green or a brown, and a black, and then if you want to get some gouache, you get some white. You don't have to invest a ton of money. We're talking less than $100. Some brands you get the 3 colors, you're talking maybe $20, $30, and then you have the 3 colors, and then you can mix the brown and green if you really want to. But it's just, you don't actually need everything. And that's the same thing, color pencils. I think I've seen people with like a set of 12, but keep in mind, color pencils are very, very slow medium. So now you're adding all this colored blending into it and trying to get the perfect tone. You're going to spend even more time. So it's better to have like a green that you can tone a little bit more yellow or a little bit more blue. That's better, but it's okay. But you get the set of 12, there's a green in there. So don't worry about that. And then just make your other colors. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't need the full set. But there's a lot of people who say, I'm not going to get into something because if I get into it, I'm going to need all these colors. And a lot of times the companies will do that. They'll sell the 12 set, but they'll also sell 36 and 60 and 120. And you feel that compulsion. Now, there's certain ones I haven't. When I got the Derwent Pastel pencils and I got the Inktense pencils, I had to get the whole set. I got the whole set, but I didn't need the whole set. I just got it because of that compulsion. But then when I went to the Inktense blocks, I didn't. I only got like the 24 set. Or if I got, the Derwent drawing pencils, they just have a set of 24 anyway. The Graphitin pencils, I needed to get them all, but there's only like 36, I think, or 24 or 36. There, I forgot how many. But there's only a few of them. But then when I got my Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils, that's 36 count is what I got. That's it. I didn't get the full set. 36 is more than enough for me with colored pencils. It's like I said, you're going to spend some time blending. It's not a problem. And really, 36 colors is more than enough. You don't need to go much heavier than that. But anyway, all I'm saying is if you can't afford a whole set of something, don't worry about it. Get used to the medium. Really, if you want to really get down to it, you can take a black and a white. Get some, if you want to use like I'm doing here, get the gray paper with black and white and just mix your tones, get the values correct and get some contrast going and get your composition correctly and do some stuff like that. I love black and white drawings on gray paper. That's one of my favorite things to do. I don't show them a lot on this channel, but my travel set is just a little tiny gray book, the Stillman & Byrne gray book, and I have some black pens and I have some white pens. That's my travel set. That's what I like to do when I go somewhere where I'm not going to be sitting there trying to do watercolor or anything like that. I'm just going to do a quick sketch. That's what I take with me. What I'm really trying to say is don't let it stop you. That's the main point that I'm trying to make. If you want to do something, do it. You're going to get some acrylic paints, get a black and a white. You want to get some color pencils, get a black and a white with a gray book. You want pen and ink, then get a black and white pen and a gray book. It's really, you can have fun with it and do some things that look really cool with it. You'll see this piece here that I'm doing, it only starts to really take shape once I add the white to it. Because I already have the darkest shade and the medium shade, I need the highlights. So then you put the highlights in and all of a sudden it pops off the page. It just increases the pleasantry to the eye. Is that a thing? I think so. I just made it a thing. It's the pleasantry to the eye that piece makes. It is it's nice. It's satisfying. That's what I'm saying. So on that same exact note, when you're going to buy some pens, you don't need all the thicknesses. You don't have to get the set of 12 thicknesses of inks and just this whole thing. Here's what I did. I started scribbling with a 0.5. And then when I wanted to get some darker lines and put in some more contrast, I went over to the 1.0, and that's all I did. I used those 2 pens, that's it. And then the white was a 0.5 as well. So But that kind of blends, it kind of smears a little bit sometimes when you're doing, you'll see towards the end it'll smear a little bit. That's fine. Just, you can do whatever you need to do with that, and you don't need all of this. And that's what I always say about the pencils. If you're going to get a set of pencils, you don't need all of the shades of pencil. You can just get like the HB, or get a B pencil if you want to be a professional. You know, professional artists, they say, don't use anything below a B. I don't care about those people, but I usually get like a 4H, and then I get a B pencil, and then I have a 2B or a 4B or something like that, and then I go to the 8B or whatever, and that's all I have. Just very sporadic, just in the middle. You can tell the difference. It's not like, oh yeah, that's a little darker. He's like, no, that's a lot darker, and that's how I do it. So that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't need all of the pencils. You don't need a set of 24 graphite pencils. You're never going to use them all in each one. If you are going incrementally for each individual hardness and softness level, that's just that will take a lot of, that's ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. I would never do that myself. Some people do, and that's fine. I have no problem with that, but for me, that's ridiculous. I would never do that. I like to use just a couple of the different things and just make them look different enough. You can go really light with a B pencil, and then go really dark with a B pencil and hit almost the 2B, and then you start with the 2B. There's a big difference. You can see it. So I'm just saying, that's what you do. You can tell the difference. So if something is stopping you from getting into a medium, don't let it stop you. Just do with less and see if you even like it first before you invest all this money into it. And you're going to, oh, well, yeah, I could have gotten, oh, I got this whole set sitting here, but I could have gotten just these colors and been fine. Or I could have just got these hardnesses or just these thicknesses or whatever it is, and I would have been fine. So that's just a lesson for everyone. And I had to learn it the hard way because I bought full sets of stuff that I never use. So I know it is my compulsion to do it, but I try my hardest not to do that anymore, and I don't. I usually find when I get the whatever set of whatever, I'm fine. The only time that doesn't work for me is, like I said, those Arteza gouache that I really like. Those Arteza gouache, there's certain colors that only come in the full set. So if I run out of that thing, I've got to buy the full set again for just one little tube of that one color I lost out on. That's a pain. I don't like doing that. I wish they would sell them individually because it's decent. There's decent gouache. It really is. So I enjoy using it, but it's just how it is. So thumbs up the video if you're going to buy the lowest quantity of any medium that you can buy and just try and make it work and scribble until your heart's content. Just act like a child and scribble on a page and have some fun with art. I strongly urge you to do that. So quickly, I just want to mention, if you would like to join our community, go to illustrationsbypete.com. You can come in, you can put your own artwork on the site and promote it. You can find some inspiration in the free reference photos. You can just use them however you want in your artwork. You do not need to credit me. Or you can come into the forums and talk to some people and maybe give some advice and maybe find a little bit of information that helps you. So come on by and check us out. Alright, that's about it for me. I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next one.